It's Monday morning and we're in Dubai. We got here about 9:30 or so last night. We've got a 14-hour layover here, and the airlines actually supplied us with a hotel room. We had dinner in the hotel last night and just finished breakfast now. We're going to be taking off in another 45 minutes or so back to the airport. Then we'll finish the rest of this flight to Entebbe. We left home about 9 o'clock on Saturday, which is a couple days ago or something. We're 11 hours ahead time-wise here, and I can't even begin to figure out how that all works right now. But anyway, we left home about 9 a.m. Saturday and drove to San Francisco. Diane has a friend, Ed, there, who lives just 5 minutes from the airport. He was good enough to not only let us park our car there, but he took us over and dropped us off and brought our car back to his house. We had an unusual number of traffic slowdowns between home and San Francisco. Normally a Saturday morning drive is really a breeze, but this time, just to the west of Sacramento, big slowdown several times on the way to the Bay Area. And once we got there, a big slowdown at the Bay Bridge. You expect some kind of slowdown there, but this was a real big one. It worked out time-wise anyway. We got to Ed's house in time to visit a little bit with him. Then he took us to the airport. And we got through security quick enough. We still had time to go to a lounge and get something to eat. By now it was after 3 o'clock, and we hadn't eaten since breakfast. Our flight was supposed to leave at 5:05 p.m., and things were going really smoothly. Everybody got boarded on time. We left the gate and started taxiing toward the runway. And then suddenly we stopped. And we sat there for maybe 20-25 minutes, and the captain announced that one of the passengers was having some kind of a medical problem. So we turned around, went back to the gate, got that passenger off. By the time the plane was refueled, it was after 6:30 before we finally left the gate for the second time. Well, we did finally get in the air, and normally when Diane and I fly, we get seats right across one of the aisles from each other, and we did the same this time. Now in this plane, there are 3 seats on the right, 4 in the middle, and 3 on the left. Diane was lucky enough to be in the center row, and all 3 seats next to her were empty. So I went ahead and moved over on the far seat, and she was able to stretch out on the other 3 and had a really good sleep on the way here. Once we got here, we had to, of course, go through passport control, caught our shuttle here to the hotel. When we walked out of the airport, it was 107 degrees. That was at about 9:30 at night. And this morning, by 6 a.m., it was already 100 degrees. This pool area here is really beautiful. We had to check our luggage all the way through to Entebbe, so all we had was a carry-on, and we just brought the essentials. We didn't even think to bring a bathing suit. A swim this morning would have just been amazing. Well, it's time to head back up to our room, get our stuff, and go out in front of the hotel and wait for the shuttle back to the airport. And we'll get on our next flight to Entebbe. I think it's about 5.5 hours, so this is going to be a lot easier than the 16 hours it took us to get here. It's Tuesday morning and we're in Entebbe. Our flight got in yesterday about mid-afternoon. Boy, I'll tell you, after that long flight to Dubai, this last 4.5 hours seemed really easy. It took us quite a while to get through the airport. Once we finally got up to the immigration window, they had some kind of equipment malfunction, and it took them about an hour or so to get that sorted out before they sent us off to baggage claim. Our friends Jerry and Dave were on a later flight. They came in about an hour after us, and they walked into the room shortly after we found our luggage. At this point, we kind of felt like we were home free, but we still had to go through the x-ray machines to get us out of the airport. There were 2 x-ray machines, and the one we were waiting for broke down, so everybody at that machine rushed over to the other, causing quite a traffic jam there, and it didn't take long before that machine broke down too. Dave had managed to just squeak through before the breakdown, but the rest of us were held up for almost another hour. It was such a relief when we finally got through and walked outside and saw Dave standing there with our driver. Once we got here and got settled in, we all met at the hotel restaurant for dinner. Well, it's time to walk the few steps across the garden to breakfast, and we'll talk about what's coming up next time I see you.